And we were selling out.
Friday nights, Mark Berkeley took the back end of the club with Muscle Boys, and Future Shock, there were 3,000 to 4,000 people.
And this was the only place in New York where you could hear techno at the time.
When Michael worked for us that year and a half, he was definitely working hard and actually bringing good acts, and in fact he even brought Moby.
I DJ'd for Lord Michael a bunch of times. He really was instrumental in developing sort of like the electronic techno rave scene in New York in the late 80s, early 90s.
Lord Michael, the promoter, he gets the job done. Yo, baby, take it away, boy.
It's Caligula with music.
It was virtually Sodom and Gomorrah.
It was pagan Rome on acid, is what we used to say.
Orgies going on in the upper chapel, and you had people streaking naked, and you had girls on swings. And
we had this game show called What's My Line, where there were several lines of white powdery substance on a podium, and the contestants had to come up on the stage and snort one of the lines, and they had 5 seconds to guess what that was. It was either cocaine, or it was Special K, or it was crushed up Rohypnol, or it was ecstasy. Then round two, they would go again, and we would wheedle it down until there was one person barely standing left.
with the ecstasy craze being so powerful, what could I do to drive more people to want to get in the club earlier in the evening?
He would have ecstasy punch.
Take 200 pills, mash them up into a powder, put them in a 55-gallon garbage pail, and serve it from the DJ booth on the main floor. It was almost like a priest at church or Jesus coming down, and the gathering happened. You know, people came with their mouth open. Throw the pills in their mouth, punches being served. It was frantic.
You just felt like it was degeneracy without negative consequences.
The initial demo was Bridge and Tunnel.
Lord Michael's crowd were so unfabulous that they were not used to getting into a Manhattan nightclub. So they turned out in massive numbers, thousands of people.
It was like a cross between a soccer riot and a rave. Bunch of Italian kids from Staten Island and Brooklyn. In Britain, we used to call these kids love thugs, which were basically soccer hooligans who were taking ecstasy. This wondrous therapy, and instead of beating each other up, were hugging each other on the dance floor.
And so in one night, like, you know, in the chapel, you'd have all the goth kids. In the room adjacent to the chapel, you'd have, like, glamorous transvestites. And then in the main room, you'd have all these kids from Staten Island, Long Island, with their shirts off, going crazy to techno.
At one point, we had to have 4 doors because many people were saying, I won't go in the same door as those people.
But then they'd start drinking and they'd start intermingling, where I'm sure people found themselves making out with people they would never have imagined. Like at the beginning of the night, they go there with their friends, and they probably left a changed person.
They were taking a lot of ecstasy, and ecstasy is the love drug, and it's very difficult to argue or to, you know, have that kind of attitude with somebody when you're all on ecstasy, and it kind of brings everybody together and you're all on the same level. So those things combined made everybody get along really well.